Yes, I am thinking of a number. I would therefore offer you all some educational courses here, for the non-fluffy folks in the planet. You have to be under 250 to enjoy all the good things in life. Once upon a time, Jelly Roll was easily recognized. A huge build, a raspy voice, a tattooed face, and an uncompromising, unapologetic presence. His admirers recognized him as the man who smeared his suffering across his forehead, transforming every trying situation into a heartfelt song. Then, however, things changed. People were astonished when he appeared on stage, on camera, or at an event one day. Something had changed, yet it was still him. The tattoos were all still there, and the voice was unchanged. However, his vitality had shifted. He had changed appearance. Something had changed in him. It was felt by everyone who had followed him, from the country music spotlight to the underground rap scene. Was there a bodily alteration? A shift in thinking? His tunes? One thing was certain, but no one knew exactly how it happened. Jelly Roll had changed as a person. The start of a career. Born Jason Deford, Jelly Roll grew up in the Antioch area of Nashville, Tennessee. He didn't have the best childhood. His mother battled addiction and mental illness, while his father had a bookkeeping firm and sold meat. Jelly Roll had been baptized at the age of 14. However, he was also detained that year. A 10-year cycle of going in and out of jail started at that point. He was accused of several things, but incarcerated, he was able to change his ways and earn his get at the age of 23. Taking inspiration from Southern rap legends 36 Mafia and UGK, Jelly Roll started his career in hip-hop. In 2003, he launched his first project, The Plain Schmear Tape, and began selling mixtapes from his car. He released the Gamblin' on a White Boy mixtape series between 2004 and 2011. He and Lil White worked together on the 2010 song, Pop, Another Pill, which received over 6 million hits on YouTube. The group SNO was launched by that success. As the years passed, Jelly Roll kept putting out albums and mixtapes, collaborating with musicians like Tech, Haystack, and Struggle Jennings. His single was originally called Whiskey Weed and Waffle House, but after receiving a cease and desist letter from Waffle House, he changed the title to Whiskey Weed and Women and, for fun, wrote a cease and desist on the cover. Jelly Roll made her stage debut at the Grand Ole Opry in November 2021. Additionally, Craig Morgan invited him back to play Almost Home in 2022. He achieved his first rock radio #1 with Dead Man Walking that same year. Son of a Sinner, his country hit, peaked at #1 and caused waves on several charts by 2023. In addition, he received multiple CMT awards that year and sold out Nashville's Bridgestone Arena. Whitsett Chapel, his 9th studio album, came out in June 2023. In 2024, he was still doing strong, winning CMA's New Artist of the Year award, speaking to Congress about the dangers of fentanyl, appearing in Eminem's music video, appearing on Saturday Night Live, and even making an appearance on Tulsa King with Sylvester Stallone. He collaborated with Christian musician Brandon Lake in 2025, and their hard-fought song, Hallelujah, earned him a K-Love Award. He also appeared on the popular song Amen by Shaboozey. Where I'm Going Isn't Where I've Been. Jelly Roll's journey from rap battles to the Grand Ole Opry is evidence that second chances do exist and can occasionally lead to the most important phases in life, marriage and family. Jelly Roll is a man who yearns for love and family, despite his harsh tone and rugged look. Since 2016, he has been married to Alyssa Deford, who is well known on social media as the handle BunnyXO. They have a relationship that is anything but normal. It's honest, unvarnished, and based on decades of mutual development and learning. Both Bunny and Jelly Roll were coming out of difficult times in their lives when they first met, but in some way, they were able to find strength and comfort in each other. They weren't in an ideal relationship. It was about supporting one another through everything. As the years passed, they became more than just husband and wife, they were true life partners. 7 years after getting married, in 2023, the pair reaffirmed their vows, stating that their love had only gotten stronger. It was a stunning moment that demonstrated their progress and commitment to their future together. Jelly Roll frequently talks about how Bunny has made his life better. She has supported him through the highs and lows of his professional and personal lives, helping to shape him into the man he is today. Bunny has been there to support, encourage, and keep him grounded, whether it's behind the scenes or alongside him on red carpets. For Jelly Roll, family is everything, and it's especially clear when it comes to his kids. He has 2 children from previous relationships, a boy he talks about more privately, and a daughter who lives with him and Bunny full-time. With a great deal of love, tolerance, and compassion, Jelly Roll and Bunny are parenting their daughter together, sharing full custody. Even though Jelly Roll doesn't share many details about his kids on the internet, it's obvious how much he loves them. Heaven is aware of his past struggles, which have made his journey as a father challenging. He has, however, been open about how his daughter had a major role in his decision to change his ways. Having a child provided him more motivation and demonstrated that he had a real cause to fight for. In the end, Jelly Roll's home life is never about fame or attempting to be ostentatious. For those closest to him, it's about healing, becoming, and being present. His family has been his rock through all the highs and lows, and it has paid off. He has found faith. Jelly Roll has had several surprises in her life. However, his return to religion has been one of the most inspirational aspects of his life. He simply didn't think about religion for years. Instead, he felt removed from it. Given his difficult upbringing, addiction, incarceration, and many personal issues, it is understandable why his connection with God had soured. He avoided church for a very long time, because he believed it to be more judgmental than loving. However, when he was 39 years old, something changed. He had no intention of doing it. It started with his 14-year-old daughter. She went up to him and declared her desire to be baptized. His first reaction was utter disbelief. But when he did choose to go to church with her, something unexpected happened. Jelly Roll now jokes, "I should go see what kind of cult she's going to," because that's how he perceived religion at that point. Something foreign, perhaps even a little odd. He was neither uncomfortable nor judged as he sat there watching his daughter with her pals. Instead, he sensed something real. He said he was reminded of the important things: community, forgiveness, kindness, and compassion. Being flawless or following the rules wasn't the point. It had to do with love and humanity. That day marked the beginning of Jelly Roll's gradual but significant metamorphosis. He gave the finest description of it himself in an interview in 2025. "In the end, I have a heart for Jesus and God, even though I may wear it a little differently than other people." Being faithful to him meant not changing who he was. It meant reestablishing a connection with something bigger than himself. It meant being a better man than he wanted to be, being more generous, and healing past wounds. The fact that Jelly Roll's faith was restored without coercion is what made it so fascinating. Love was the cause of it. He discovered something he didn't even know he needed after witnessing his daughter discover her faith. And today, faith is still another important component of his transformation, not just in his music or body, but also in his soul. Jelly Roll has performed on some of the biggest stages in the world, but in 2024, he chose to speak in front of the U.S. Senate rather than perform live or accept an honor. As an artist, and someone who has seen the worst parts of the opioid crisis, he was there to speak from the heart. He provided testimony in favor of Senator Tim Scott's Fend Off Fentanyl Act before the Senate Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs. This measure aims to combat the escalating fentanyl issue in the United States, a catastrophe that continues to ruin families every day and has claimed many lives. Having been involved in that issue himself, Jelly Roll realized he had something significant to say. He spoke with honesty, emotion, and rawness. He didn't mince words about his past. "I brought my community down. I hurt people. I was the uneducated man in the kitchen playing chemist with drugs I knew absolutely nothing about," he said as he stood in front of the lawmakers, recalling his childhood mistakes of mixing drugs, selling substances, and unintentionally endangering lives. What was so powerful about his testimony was how genuine it was. He wasn't trying to be polished or memorize words from a script. He was just being himself, open, honest, and passionate. He demonstrated that he had a great deal of regret, but perhaps more importantly, he felt a need to help correct that which he had once helped destroy. That day in the Senate demonstrated just how much Jelly Roll has changed. He is no longer just a man with a checkered past or a recovered addict. He told the senators that he wanted to be part of the solution right away, to help stop fentanyl from killing more lives, the way it had killed so many in his area. By standing before lawmakers and sharing his story, Jelly Roll demonstrated that change is possible and can sometimes change everything. He has become a voice for change, speaking out on behalf of those who are still suffering. Few artists are able to turn their suffering into purpose as much as he has. Jelly Roll had numerous serious run-ins with the law before he became well known in the music industry. He was 14 when he was first arrested, which signaled the start of a protracted and difficult time in his life. during which he spent almost 10 years in and out of jail. He was arrested for several serious crimes during his adolescence and early 20s, including armed robbery, burglary, and drug possession. In a very personal interview on the Jay Shetty podcast, Jelly Roll acknowledged that he committed armed robbery at the age of 15, a crime that still bothers him today. His offenses were not careless mistakes for a day, and he confessed that he never fully understood the impact of what he had done until years after the fact. He described how impulsive and careless his actions were at the time, saying, "There was no logic to what I did." He even felt the need to apologize to his victims one day. During one of his interviews, Jelly Roll openly admitted that he was living a very crazy, narcissistic, and selfish life at the time, not only harming himself but also those around him and in society. He committed drug-related offenses like possession with intent to distribute, which led to multiple incarcerations. Because of his repeated offenses, Jelly Roll spent the majority of his late teens and early 20s behind bars. He talked about how being incarcerated almost became normal, something he expected and something he couldn't imagine a different way out of at the time. These were the years of violence, instability, and survival. The group, Jelly Roll, also mentioned the singer's criminal history as a reason why their image had suffered, claiming that his previous incarceration and felony conviction had further harmed theirs. The band asked the court to issue an order prohibiting Jason DeFord from playing under the name Jelly Roll or any other similar name. They had sent a cease and desist letter in February before moving to court, but attempts to resolve the matter amicably failed. However, by July 2024, it had changed course. The wedding ring made the voluntary decision to end the legal action. They said they were happy to continue using their name and called it resolved. The court filings indicated a friendly agreement, but no formal settlement was disclosed. Attorneys for Jelly Roll have not yet responded. This brief but intense court case generated discussion on branding, name rights, and the impact of an organization's internet presence. Despite Jelly Roll's immense success, the wedding band was determined to uphold its identity. And in the end, both sides came out with their names intact. Criticism of his appearance and music. With his poignant tales and appeal to both hip-hop and country music, Jelly Roll has gained a lot of admirers. But not everyone is a fan. His popularity is often attributed by critics, especially on Reddit, to emotional connection rather than musical innovation. "I feel like now he's just releasing music he knows will be a hit because he switched over to country as a genre," one user said plainly in response to our controversial opinion. This viewpoint is an example of a broader critique. It just seems lazy and an easier way to make hits. Some believe that rather than genuinely being creative, he purposefully appeals to both rap and country audiences in order to maximize commercial appeal. On the other hand, a few threads on "You Are a Country Music Thing" indicate the same problems. One admitted that they liked him as a person, but said bluntly, "Couldn't agree more. Seems like a wonderful fellow. I just cringe at rap country. He is a short-lived gimmick instead. He may easily be a one and done, in my opinion. He is criticized for playing his songs too much on the radio and in crossovers, which portrays him as oversaturated." One user wrote, "His music is just not good, and he has no talent in my opinion." Other users said that they thought his songs were rich in musicianship and vocal refinement, but that they featured recurrent themes of personal pain and salvation. The music itself isn't creative or unique, and the lyrics aren't very deep or complicated. One person stated plainly. "In all our music," one commenter wrote, "the real offenders are turds like Jelly Roll, who couldn't be cornier if he tried. He's like a redneck pit bull." Another added, "All the songs kind of sound alike. Great story, but a little overrated IMO." The group, Jelly Roll, also mentioned the singer's criminal history as a reason why their image had suffered, claiming that his previous incarceration and felony conviction had further harmed theirs. The band asked the court to issue an order prohibiting Jason DeFord from playing under the name Jelly Roll or any other similar name. They had sent a cease and desist letter in February before moving to court, but attempts to resolve the matter amicably failed. However, by July 2024, it had changed course. The wedding ring made the voluntary decision to end the legal action. They said they were happy to continue using their name and called it resolved. The court filings indicated a friendly agreement, but no formal settlement was disclosed. Attorneys for Jelly Roll have not yet responded. This brief but intense court case generated discussion on branding, name rights, and the impact of an organization's internet presence. Despite Jelly Roll's immense success, The wedding band was determined to uphold its identity. And in the end, both sides came out with their names intact. Criticism of his appearance and music. With his poignant tales and appeal to both hip-hop and country music, Jelly Roll has gained a lot of admirers. But not everyone is a fan. His popularity is often attributed by critics, especially on Reddit, to emotional connection rather than musical innovation. I feel like now he's just releasing music he knows will be a hit because he switched over to country as a genre. One user said plainly in response to our controversial opinion. This viewpoint is an example of a broader critique. It just seems lazy and an easier way to make hits. Some believe that rather than genuinely being creative, he purposefully appeals to both rap and country audiences in order to maximize commercial appeal. On the other hand, a few threads on You Are a Country Music Thing indicate the same problems. One admitted that they liked him as a person, but said bluntly, "Couldn't agree more. Seems like a wonderful fellow. I just cringe at rap country. He is a short-lived gimmick instead." He may easily be a one and done, in my opinion. He is criticized for playing his songs too much on the radio and in crossovers, which portrays him as oversaturated. One user wrote, "His music is just not good, and he has no talent in my opinion." Other users said that they thought his songs were rich in musicianship and vocal refinement, but that they featured recurrent themes of personal pain and salvation. The music itself isn't creative or unique, and the lyrics aren't very deep or complicated. One person stated plainly. "In all our music," one commenter wrote, "the real offenders are turds like Jelly Roll, who couldn't be cornier if he tried. He's like a redneck pit bull." Another added, "All the songs kind of sound alike. Great story, but a little overrated IMO." Even with those strong words, not everyone feels this way. Some fans appreciate his unvarnished honesty and emotional intensity, even if they don't love his wealth or musical taste. Jelly Roll has come a long way financially from his early days. According to Celebrity Net Worth, his net worth was approximately $16 million of mid-2025, a significant increase from just a few years ago, when it was only about $1 million. His tours and live performances, which have sold out stadiums and arenas and brought in millions of dollars in ticket sales, are the main sources of that incredible rise. He has headlined major tours like the 2023 Backrod Baptism Tour and the Beautifully Broken Tour, and he will co-headline stadiums with Post Malone in 2025. Music streaming and sales also provide consistent revenue. His albums, including Beautifully Broken and Wits at Chapel, have achieved chart success. Wits at Chapel even began at number 1 on the Billboard 200. His songs have received over 2 billion views on YouTube, earning him at least $3.4 million just from video revenue. He reportedly makes over $360,000 a year from Spotify, and an additional $1.3 million from Pandora. In addition to music, Jelly Roll makes a respectable sum of money from merchandise, selling t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and other items both online and at performances. Another factor is his social media presence. According to accounts, he makes about $2 million from YouTube ads in a single year. And with millions of followers on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, brand partnerships and sponsorships would likely help him earn more money. Other sources conservatively estimate him at $10.12 million, based on his regular stream of income from streaming, touring, merchandise, YouTube, endorsement deals, and real estate. He is also reportedly pursuing business ventures, starting his own record label, and investing in real estate, including a Nashville house, as well as owning a collection of luxury cars. In a nutshell, what started with mixtapes being sold out of a car has developed into a vibrant and successful empire. Touring, streaming, merchandise, social media, brand tie-ins, and investments all contribute to Jelly Roll's bottom line. However, the most accurate estimate, $16 million, aligns with his booming multi-platform revenues. Evidence that he's not just getting by, he's doing well. The physical transformation that shocked everyone. After a series of health scares in early 2023, Jelly Roll made a commitment to getting healthier. And by April 2025, he revealed in an interview on Jimmy Kimmel Live that he had lost nearly 200 pounds, weighing an estimated 357 pounds now. Jelly Roll credited the transformation to a simple combination of high-protein meals, vegetables, walks, and just eating clean overall. Prior to that, in 2024 he achieved a milestone, losing 110 lbs by substituting exercise, better nutrition, saunas, and cold plunges for his previous diet and vices. Kimmel joked that he had lost 200 pounds. In addition to playing basketball and boxing on his tour, he worked out daily, walking or running 2 to 3 miles most days, before completing his first 5K in May 2024. By March 2025, he had undergone yet another major change, with his wife, Bunny XO, even remarking on new chest hair, a sign of how much his body was changing. Fans and the media have flooded comment streams with shocked reactions. Is that even him? It's more than a number. He has openly talked about being able to hike mountains now, which would not have been the case previously. In late 2024, he told his wife that he wanted to be on the cover of Men's Health by March 2026, promising people he would be unrecognizable. He's still Jelly Roll, but he looks and acts like a completely different person. In interviews on The Bobby Bones Show, Taste of Country, and even Jimmy Kimmel Live, Jelly Roll reiterates that the ultimate goal isn't necessarily losing weight, but living. His facial features are sharper, his posture is straighter, and his overall energy has brightened. Goodbye, big guy on stage smoking and sweating. The most inspiring thing about him is that he has stayed true to himself, no hype, no shortcuts, just hard work, discipline, and the will to live life to the fullest. As the pictures show, it's a transformation that even surprises people. He wants to skydive, bull ride, run marathons, and yes, even wrestle an alligator one day. Why Jelly Roll changed so drastically? Jelly Roll's transformation was more than just physical. It was life or death. He revealed on the Full Send podcast that he was awakened by a severe health crisis in late 2022 and realized that he couldn't keep living in the fast lane if he wanted to live long enough to see his daughter grow up. That was the turning point. He talks openly about wanting to live longer for his daughter and to finally be the father he aspires to be. In the same interview, he described how he used to feel exhausted and anxious when he went on stage, but now he trains like a sportsman, incorporating long walks, hiking, and boxing into his routine. In his tearful 2023 CMT Music Awards acceptance speech, he told everyone, "I'm proof that you can change." He credited the award to everyone who needed a second chance and heard the thunderous applause. This is for the underdogs. In other words, the revelation wasn't just about a trimmer figure. It was about a man reclaiming his future not just for himself, but for his loved ones and all broken hearts, holding on to hope. Since then, social media has been inundated with messages demonstrating how his makeover affected lives outside of his own. Even though Jelly Roll's narrative is far from complete, it already reads like a movie. He went from selling mixtapes out of a car to testifying before the U.S. Senate and standing in front of thousands of applauding fans, something that most individuals with his background never get to do. He never tried to hide the pain or act as though he had it all worked out. Instead, he used his voice, his music, and even his struggles to connect with people who felt like no one understood them. Jelly Roll isn't chasing perfection. Instead, he's chasing growth. He continues to demonstrate that change doesn't have to be ostentatious. It just needs to be genuine. As he continues to take on new challenges, whether it's in music, advocacy, or simply becoming a better version of himself, he is a reminder that no matter where you come from, it's never too late to rewrite your story. He has earned the fame, the accolades, and the millions of fans. But what truly makes him stand out is his heart. One thing is certain, Jelly Roll isn't going to slow down anytime soon. He is a living example of how the most profound changes originate from within, rather than just the outside. If you were as inspired by Jelly Roll's amazing journey as we were, please remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more inspiring tales like this one. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you in the next one. Stay tuned for more in-depth studies, real-life makeovers, and behind-the-scenes experiences on our upcoming shows.